Hello, my name is Bruce Gorley, and this spring semester I am teaching an Olli course in which we will explore one of the most fascinating places on planet Earth, Yellowstone National Park, which this year celebrates 150 years as a national park. Whether you already frequent the park or have yet to visit the park, or will be visited by friends or family this summer who expect you to take them to the park, or you want to know the best way to experience Yellowstone beyond the crowds, this course is for you. In my course, titled Yellowstone National Park, 150 Years of Wonderland, we will explore little known but important aspects of the park's early years. We'll probe the park's enduring global mystique. And in our mind's eye, we'll jostle along on a stagecoach ride around the park in the late 1800s. We'll explore the stories behind the park's iconic lodges, and we'll meet lots of interesting figures with unique and sometimes quite humorous stories, plus a whole lot more. By the end of our 6 weeks in class, you'll be ready to experience Yellowstone at a whole new level. I hope to see you in January.
Hello, friends of Osher Lifelong Learning at MSU. I'm Stephen Guggenheim. This winter, Olli and I are offering a course called The Building Blocks of Opera. For some, opera has the reputation of being entertainment for the elite, but its history shows that opera has been and is for everybody. I've been an opera enthusiast since the age of 12 when I first discovered opera's magic. A magic that has allowed this form of musical theater to survive for more than 400 years. Although opera can be enjoyed without any introduction at all, I believe that learning about its components and how they are put together can enhance the opera house experience. That is what the course will aim to do. It will look at the stories that opera tells and the writing of those stories so they can be sung. It will look at the kinds of singers that are needed and the types of music that is written for them. It will look at the music that the orchestra plays to accompany and underscore the singing and the often elaborate stagecraft that is used in opera productions. As an ex-professor, I of course enjoy hearing myself talk. But the truth is that opera is its own best spokesperson. So a large part of the class time will be spent watching and discussing video clips of great opera artists performing operatic masterpieces. I hope that the course increases participants' appreciation of opera and that it will encourage them to take advantage of Bozeman's live and telecast opera opportunities.
Hello, this is Tony Dimitriadis. I am an emeritus professor of engineering at MSU, and I'm planning to entertain you next spring with 4 lectures beginning in January 2022. My talks are entitled History's Close Calls, and they deal with some of history's near disasters, which were avoided at the last moment. These close calls include the infamous Cuban Missile Crisis, which, as you remember, occurred in 1962, and which brought this country to a near a nuclear catastrophe. And also another close call is the fateful 3 days in August 1991, which threatened Mikhail Gorbachev and his family with exile and or death because they wanted to relax the communist hold over the Soviet Union and avoid continuing the Cold War. Another very, very close call occurred in Tokyo on the evening of August 10, 1945, when it looked like World War II would continue unabated for many years despite Emperor Hirohito's best efforts. And finally, we're going to talk at some length of some long forgotten details about the embarrassment of Masters Livingston and Monroe in Paris, who suddenly discovered that they did not bring enough money with them to purchase Louisiana. Thank you, and I will see you in January.
Hi, I'm Greg Ainsworth. I'll be teaching a class this spring via Zoom called Exploring the Climate and Weather of Southwest Montana. If you're a Bozeman Chronicle subscriber, perhaps you're familiar with the monthly column I used to write on weather and climate in the Gallatin Valley. In the class, we'll take a look at what drives weather and climate in our region. We'll look at the effects of terrain and how weather and climate can vary quite a bit over short distances just due to elevation. We'll take a look at where the weather and climate data come from, including station networks, weather radar, satellites. Basically, I'll try to help you become a more savvy consumer of the weather information that you encounter on a daily basis. We'll explore lots of online sources of information, and hopefully as a result of all that, when we're through, the nightly weathercast will make a lot more sense to you. I've been an avid photographer all my life, and I just wanted to show you some examples of the fascinating weather phenomena you can see in Montana skies.
Hi everybody, I'm Susan Velo and I'm teaching the course Solar Energy for Your Home. It'll be on all 4 Mondays in February from 10 a.m. until 12 noon. The first 3 classes are held at Hope Lutheran Church and will include presentations, in-class discussions, and in-class exercises. We'll talk about how did the ancient ones use solar energy and how do we use it today. You'll learn about solar energy principles and technologies that are used to heat air and water, as well as generate electricity. You'll discover the important role of conservation and efficiency and learn about current solar policies and programs. And we'll conduct an in-class exercise where if you want to bring your utility bill, you can size a solar electric photovoltaic system for your home. By the end of the course, you will understand the multiple ways that we use the sun's energy, as well as the environmental, economic, and social benefits. You will have the ability to determine if solar energy can work for you and what the next steps are for you to take. You will learn about where to find updated and factual energy information so that you can make educated and informed decisions today and tomorrow. The fourth class will actually be a field trip to my home to see my solar electric photovoltaic system. You'll look at them, we'll see the modules, the inverter. I'll show you my data monitoring system. I'll share information about the process too, what we did, what we might do different, the cost, and I'll share the electricity production since it was installed in 2012. And I'll also share with you information on how I sized the system to power my all-electric vehicle. I hope you'll join me. I think the future's bright, and I hope you'll come and learn about solar energy with me. Thank you.
My name is John Meyer. I am the Executive Director of Cottonwood Environmental Law Center. Cottonwood is a group of free-thinking rabble-rousers. We cause trouble in court to protect the environment. We're going to start our 4 weeks together by talking about the National Environmental Policy Act. In 2012, Cottonwood won a NEPA lawsuit on behalf of Northern Plains Resource Council. We stopped the federal government from taking the land you just saw to build a $550 million coal railroad. The coal would have been shipped to China. Burning coal-fired power plants would have exacerbated the impacts of climate change. After that, we're going to talk about another NEPA lawsuit we have against the governor of Montana and the federal government. We are working to allow Yellowstone bison to roam freely on federal land. We'll talk about climate change and how we're working to protect old-growth forests like this here. We'll talk about the Endangered Species Act and how we protected over 11 million acres of critical habitat for Canada lynx. Then we'll talk about the Clean Water Act. Cottonwood has alleged the Big Sky Water and Sewer District is violating the Clean Water Act by discharging treated sewage into the West Fork of the Gallatin River. That's what you see right here. I look forward to meeting everyone in March.
Albert Einstein is one of the most popular figures of the 20th and 21st century, a man that led the revolution in science and physics with his two theories of relativity and the founder really of modern physics, of all those electronic devices we now see. He was also a very interesting person from a historical point of view, a societal point of view. It was his letter to Roosevelt that started the whole atomic bomb project. It was his letter that led us to this new atomic age we're in, where people are worried about nuclear weapons, etc. He spent the rest of his life regretting that letter, but there's some interesting history to talk about there. He also had an interesting history in terms of his feelings about religion. There's a lot of speculation about how religious he was. One of his famous quotes was, if I were God, how would I have done it? And that apparently was one of the guiding lights in terms of his thinking about science. So in this course, we're going to look at Einstein's science in a very non-mathematical way. You're not required to know any mathematics. And we'll also look at his life, which is extremely interesting. His first marriage, his second marriage to his cousin, his troubles with his one of his sons at least, and his general belief of how people should live. I mean, he was a Jew, but he wasn't a Jew. I mean, he really wrestled with some of the different major issues that perhaps some of us all think about at the time. So in this course, though, I will look at some of the science, especially the relativity and the modern physics entry, and I'll look at his life, and I'll do it in a very non-threatening way, non-mathematical. There's plenty of things you could read if you want, but there won't be any reading assignment. I'll guide you, for those of you that want to do some more reading, I'll guide you to some different interesting things that I think are appropriate. But please consider the journey through Albert Einstein's life, his science and his social life.
Hi, I'm Ilona Popper, and I teach Sparks, a generative writing workshop. The key to this workshop is learning to tap into your unconscious mind and draw up the ideas, beliefs, images, themes that you want to write about and may not even be conscious of wanting to write about, or drawing on the unconscious mind to give structure, language, etc., to ideas that you do know you want to write about. We're going to learn this through writing quite a bit. And then we'll also be reading each other's writings and focusing on finding what is the heart of each writing. And if you can find the heart of other people's writings, then when you reread your own early drafts, you'll be better and better at picking out the key and most important things about your own writing. It's a lot of fun, and I hope you come and join us.
I'm Jerry Geis. I'm here to introduce a 3-session Olli program, May 3rd, 4th, and 5th, that's titled Nuclear Weapons, Useful Deterrents, or Arsenals of Folly. Now you may say, in Montana, why would I have an interest in nuclear weapons? Well, you may not, but nuclear weapons have an interest in you. Today, 10% of the nuclear weapons in our arsenal are in the Minuteman silos surrounding you. So there's about 1,000 nuclear weapons in those silos. And each one has the capacity of about 25 to 50 times the nuclear bombs that we use in Japan. So this is a 3-session program. I'm going to do session 1. I have a background in nuclear weapons manufacturing. And I'm going to talk about how do we make nuclear weapons, how they work and how destructive they are, and how did we get to having 70,000 nuclear weapons in 1986. Jim Montgomery, who is a retired high-level State Department official and nuclear arms negotiator, will do session 2. He's going to talk about how did we go in 1986 from having all those nuclear weapons down to a minimum now of about 13,000. He will make the point that it was probably the Cuban Missile Crisis that caused that. David Dumford, a former ambassador to Oman, will do session 3. Session 3 will be what is our current plans with nuclear weapons? And more important, what does the rest of the world think of our plans with nuclear weapons? So I'm looking forward to hosting the sessions on May 3rd, 4th, and 5th on nuclear weapons, useful deterrents, or arsenals of folly. Hope to see you then. Thank you.
Hi friends, my name is Paul.
And I'm Marie.
And we are 406 Circ. We are very excited to be introducing this juggling course for OLLI MSU. So our proposition for this year is a juggling class. The class is going to be opened by full body warm up, because we don't only juggle with our hands, we use our whole body and we engage our brain in a very particular way. We're going to incorporate for the first time here in Bozeman a juggling board that I'm going to create. It's part of the theory of inclusive juggling, which means that juggling is for everybody. You don't have to be a super athlete to juggle. So our idea is to make it as inclusive as possible and as fun as possible. And we are very excited to see you, and we look forward to it.
We also have a lot of different juggling equipment we can teach you, so I'm sure you can find something you enjoy between diablos, juggling balls, spinning plates, flower sticks.
Yeah, so thank you so much, and we'll see you there.
Hi everyone, I'm Jill Davis. I had the pleasure and the honor to teach in the MSU English department for 35 years. I'm a life coach. I also am a lifetime memoirist. And one of the projects I did while teaching at MSU was partner my students with elders and cancer survivors in the community to document their life stories. It was a very exciting project. We did it over 15 years. And so the stories we collected were very meaningful for our participants. Anyway, what is a legacy letter? Legacy letter basically is a way to share your values and beliefs and life stories, cherished memories, hopes and wishes for the people you're writing the letters to. I was fortunate enough, my mother died when I was in college, and my grandfather wrote a legacy letter to each of us grandchildren and talked about my mother, what her life story had been, some of the events and meaningful experiences she had, and how he felt about her as a parent. And I treasure this letter. After that, I asked my grandfather to write his life story, and he included my mother's story in this as well in his book, As I Remember It. I had the privilege to get to type this book for him. So I feel like having those legacies are so important and to know them. So in the workshop, we're going to be looking at why we're writing them, who we're going to be writing them to, what are we going to be writing about, and we're going to create what's called the legacy letter packet. And I'm hoping that you will join us for the 4 weeks in May that we're going to be doing the workshop. We have an introductory on the art and craft of legacy letters. So I hope you join us for that and kind of get inspired to get together with us and do it. Sitting down to write a personal legacy letter by yourself is awesome, just incredibly hard. So as a group, we really help each other, inspire each other, push each other, and hold each other accountable. So please join us for the Legacy Letter Writing Workshop, and I look forward to meeting you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Susan Kreitzberg, and I'm offering a class called Your Life as a Mythic Journey. I was a naturopathic physician in my career, and after I retired, I went back to school and earned a master's degree from Pacifica Graduate Institute in Jungian psychology. We are going to be reading the Greek myth of Psyche and Eros. I'll help you identify the symbolic language contained in myth, and then we'll also look at it through the lens of Joseph Campbell's idea of the hero, the heroic journey. And then what'll be really fun is I'm going to have all of you look at your lives and plug in the Psyche and Eros story into your own lives so you can see how you've already all met Psyche and Eros. And then you'll also plug in the hero's journey. So by the end of the course, you'll recognize that in your lifetime, you've led the life of a hero, and that you've also embraced and encountered the challenges and experiences of Psyche and Eros. I hope you join me. There's no homework. It's just fun. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Robin Klein, and I will be presenting a foraging class this summer entitled Montana's Medicinal Plants, Harvesting the Wild. I'm a medical botanist. I teach plant identification and ethnobotany at MSU. And we will be covering this course in 2 days. We'll be doing a presentation in class where I can do a slideshow of different plants. And then we'll have a field trip where we will walk around and see some of the plants that you can harvest from. The history of harvesting wild plants in Montana is long and interesting. I've got some stories to tell. We're going to talk about some of the organizations that are conserving wild plants, and we'll talk about some of the guidelines for wild crafting and harvesting wild plant material. I hope you can join us. I believe it's in June, and hope to meet you all. Take care. Bye.